What is going on, everybody? My name is Northy, and as you can see in the top right, we have about 20 minutes to get this video done. I'm not going to have it uploaded, obviously, by then, but my plan is to do it pretty quickly. This video isn't going to be a huge preview for round 22, because we haven't got too much time on our hands. But I'm hoping to get through a few of the changes, a few of my reasonings as to why I've got certain teams going into the week. And of course, we'll be doing our tips because I need to get to them quite quickly. We'll start off with star power. Let's stop messing around. I haven't made a single change for the Star Powers competition for this week. As you can see here, Riley O'Brien is still in there. He's had some big games, not as big as the week before. Last week he had 28 hitouts. You can see only the 2 marks and 17 disposals. He did a fair bit more in his game against the Dogs at Mars Stadium. And with these two, Brodie Grundy did great. Clint Oliver, a little bit lackluster. So hopefully he'll pick up his points. Obviously 65 is not what I'm used to with this guy. And we still got into the under 100 club, but it would have been nice to get those extra points to get us over the 600 mark and potentially even into the top 20. Probably even into the top 20 if we had gotten his regular output. But then we go over to Rising, still with Aaron Thomas. He's been consistently good over the last 4 weeks, as North has kind of been. Richmond was probably their biggest shock. I feel like if anything, we shouldn't have lost to them by 30 points. So I think last week's probably our most disappointing result in a while, but it's good to see Taryn still doing some good work. Then we go to our legend, Josh Kennedy. Up until when I picked him, he'd been pretty much leading Sydney. He'd been doing great stuff for Sydney, doing with big disposal performances, getting involved with it all. He still is, but not as much as he has been previously. As you can see here, only the 66 points. People like David Mundy, who was super lackluster when I had him originally. Yeah, all of a sudden, Josh Kennedy, he can't beat him out, so it's a little bit disappointing, but we'll keep Josh Kennedy in there, and hopefully with the same lineup, we'll get a better result, because Josh Kennedy just needs to perform a little bit better. Same goes with Clayton Oliver. Considering he's our green, it'd be really nice to make the most out of our double points. But we'll see what happens. Hopefully we get some big things our way. But we go quickly to top team. Biggest change here. Rory Laird is out. Rory Laird has probably been one of the most consistent players for my team. Obviously, it's very hard to find the best backman. Rory Laird has kind of been that over the last few weeks. But this week, I decided to make a test for Lachie Whitfield. He has been disappointing at times. There is absolutely no doubt about that. He's been pretty disappointing. However, I'm hoping this week Lachie will be able to pull out some big things. He's playing tonight against Richmond, so I'll be able to see whether that pays off for me now rather than later on in the weekend. But other than that, Bontempelli is back in, seeing as though he is in the middle once again. I'm hoping that he'll be able to do a lot of work for them, considering they need to bounce back hard after that loss to Essendon. Without, they really should have won, because the Dogs probably should be top spot, but now that Bruce is out, they're not looking like a top spot squad just as much. Jack Steele stays in there because he's been consistently good for me every single time I've used him. And same goes with Brodie Grundy, except for the odd 1 or 2 times. But Rowan Marshall is definitely one that has tempted me. He started to look very, very dangerous, and I wouldn't be surprised if he continues that this week. So we go to the ladder, we check here. Last week we had 36. It was not bad. 393 is not a bad score at all, considering players like Callum Mills were out very, very late. People like Paddy Dangerfield was exited the game early. All very, very interesting stuff, and I'm hoping that this week some of the changes will have paid off. But yeah, 393 was our previous score. We always aim for that 400 because it gives us the best chance of making it. But we'll see what happens. We will see. Go to top 18. Obviously, this one didn't win last week. We got very, very close. Rank 25. We got 2 games under rank 50. Being exactly half of this one, 14-23. Not bad, but again, if we want more prize cards, this is probably the mode we're going to get one more before the end of the year. Obviously, this is the second last week, so hopefully things will get better towards the end. But my aim, probably just get below 70. If we can get below 70, I'll be happy. It means we put up a late push towards the end. But it could be difficult considering that there are a lot of players who consistently play this game and are probably getting more than 100 points or as you can see in the right hand side, there's a person about 1,000 points ahead of me. So I don't know how further up I can go on the leaderboard, but if we can get below 70, that means we've done a very, very good job. Probably aiming for 1,500 at least. Obviously, last week only one person had over 1,500, but at least 1,500 make me feel safe, especially if people are putting in the wrong players. This is going to go out late, so if you don't know already, Callum Mills and Jake Lloyd are not playing. Neither of them are playing. Callum Mills is still out, and Jake Lloyd was injured. So both the Sydney players who have both been really reliable for me, they're both out. So I've switched up Mills for Jayden Shaw and Jake Lloyd for Dyson Heppel. And who else is out? Tom Stewart. He is out as well. I've got Braden Maynard in there because he usually is around the ball doing a lot. I'm not very confident with that pick, I will not lie. But other than that, three usual ones, Whitfield, Laird, and Crisp are still in there. The back line is going to be a very, very interesting result this week. I'm very excited to see how that one goes. I remember now, Sam Walsh is still in. He just had his little injury, I think, at the end of the game. Rolled his ankle somewhat, but it looks like it isn't as serious as people may have thought it was. And he is playing on the wing to start against the Power. So that's going to be an interesting battle for the Blues, see what they can do. But other than that, pretty much just the regulars once again. Jack Macrae is probably the weakest link out of all. Obviously, Walsh can have big games. Mitchell and Steele, when they have big games, they do huge things. Same even goes with Took. Like, all the midfielders other than Macrae is just very reliable for possessions. You almost can guarantee every single week he's going to get 60 plus points because he is consistently getting 30 disposals. It's all up to whether he's grabbing the ball and getting marks, kicking a goal or two, and getting some tackles. That is purely what Jack Macrae really relies on. People may or may not get confused by, the fact that he gets so many disposals and go, why is he only getting 97 points? Surely he should be over 100 for a big performance like that. Yes, but disposals aren't everything. You can see this isn't even a bad game, but Jack Macrae, considering how good he's been all season, you'd hope that he'd be able to get at least 100-point games consistently, like Steele and like Mitchell. But you can see here, it's the marks and tackles. They do big things for you. Then we go to the forward line. Probably the biggest change here is Taron Thomas. I've got him in there instead of Jaden Stevenson. Honestly, it was just a toss-up, and I wanted to put Taron in there just to back up my star powers choice of him, and just switch things up. Jaden Stevenson has been fine. I think last week it was a little bit disappointing, and I just wanted to see whether Taron Thomas's hot streak could continue. So, other than that, this one's probably going to be the most solidified one. I know Dangerfield is still playing. DeGoey is playing as well. I can't remember if he's on the ball or not. Maybe in the centre. Not too sure. I can't remember. But Zeeble has always been the reliable backman for North. North backmen are very, very good to have because they kick the ball and they try and play very, very precise. They try and play very slow and make sure they get you at the right time. Obviously, as an 18th place team, it's not always work. It doesn't always work, but as of late, you'll see so many marks for North Melbourne, especially the backmen. Like, you'll see 2 or 3 with 10 plus. So, if we go to Zeeble here, you can see with his marks, 9, had a load. He was doing really good stuff for North, so it was a good choice last week. But yeah, Taron Thomas is in. I'm keeping with Isaac Heaney. He only had 39 points last week, but when he goes off, he goes off. So I just want to make sure that I do have him in case he has a big game. And Bontempelli in there as well, because it's Marcus Bontempelli. So, now that I've gotten through all that, we were 25th, I showed you that. Let's get to the tips. We have 9 minutes left. Let's do them. Okay, so Brisbane versus Collingwood. This one's going to be interesting. I'm going to go Brisbane. Safe option here. Geelong versus St Kilda. Saints and Carlton have both been kind of on and off. Saints just had their off game. They could be on this time. We'll see what happens. Tom Stewart being out for Geelong probably does a lot to help out St Kilda and Max King, but they are so solid everywhere on the field that I think they can afford some outs, including like Jeremy Cameron. Tom Stewart, as I said, is out as well. I think even more players are out for Geelong. A lot of players are, but let's see how it all goes. I'm going to tip Geelong. Geelong just feels too, they feel too good not to pick. Gold Coast versus Essendon. Essendon, after their huge win against the Dogs, they are going to feel more than motivated to try and make the 8. If Essendon don't win this, I will be shocked. I will be absolutely gobsmacked. But the game happening in like 10 minutes. GWS versus Richmond. Again, like I say every week, it's up to how GWS plays. It's up to whether they show out or not. I don't remember if this is at Marvel or at the MCG. I'll quickly check that. The game is at Marvel, and yeah, Marvel, last time these two teams played, I believe Richmond just got over the line, but Richmond do not like this ground whatsoever. They've had it so much more this year compared to many other years. I'm going to go with GWS. I think GWS are going to pull one out. But again, at the same time, Richmond just as well could do the same thing. They're winning against North last week. May have put some rejuvenation in their step to see whether they can push towards finals again this season. I don't think the Tigers will make it, but if they can win this game, it's a good start. The Dogs versus Hawthorn. Oh, I'm just tipping the Dogs out of spite. I am not happy with how the Hawks have played. Sure, they can be as happy as they want. They've clearly got the result they want. A low place finish for a rebuilding side. They're going to get a high draft pick and avoid the wooden spoon. It's a place ideally that I'd like to be sitting, but good on the Hawks, I guess, for getting there. Yeah, I'm going to say the Dogs over the Hawks just to see whether the North can do it. We've got Melbourne versus Adelaide. I'm going to tip Melbourne. I'd assume that it's at Melbourne. I'm not sure again, but we'll see what happens there. North versus Sydney. I'm just going to tip North the rest of the season. I am going full faith in my team. I need to have full faith in my team in order to get close to it all, and hopefully see my team somehow get off the bottom. I don't think they can at this point, but Port versus Carlton. I think it's a pretty safe bet to say Port, but then again, Carlton, like St Kilda, are one of those on and off teams. Are they on or are they off? I think because their season is over, they're going to be off. So Port Adelaide, I'm going to pick over them. And Freo versus West Coast, I'm going to say Freo. This is a huge derby here. But yeah, I'm going to say Freo. The games are usually pretty close, but West Coast have been super lackluster. They have been really, really disappointing. If anything, they need that last 15 minutes of their game against Melbourne to maybe spark something, but West Coast have looked really bad this season compared to what a lot of people thought they were going to be. So those are my tips. I'm going to lock them in. No second thoughts. We're doing that straight away. Yeah, that's all I can say. 5 minutes before the game starts. I hope you guys find the games entertaining this weekend. I sure will. I'm going to be watching as much as I can. But if you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, comment down below any video ideas, suggestions, and constructive criticism, and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next one. Good.